Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this morning's presentation of Social Security claiming and how to best help your clients gain the maximum benefit from their Social Security uh, benefits. So, we're going to have the coach here, Dave Pimper, is going to join us here very shortly, and we're going to talk through Social Security claiming, how you can use Social Security claiming to assist your clients. We've got some software tool that you can use, and we can help you with a little bit of the knowledge that you need. In fact, today we're going to talk about some of the more common Social Security claiming opportunities and ways to assist your clients around Social Security claiming. We're also going to talk briefly about ways to, once you've gained that expertise, to also meet new clientele via that new expertise. So it should be a good webinar. Dave Pemper is a longtime veteran of the business, been in the business about 40 years now. I think he joined in 82-ish. So I guess he's coming up on 41 years. And not only has he been a producer in the insurance field, but he also is in the securities business as well. Not only is a producer in both of those fields, but he's over the last 12 years or so, he has worked with us directly with our producers on coaching around seminars, coaching around practice management, coaching around appointments, coaching around radio, coaching around Social Security claiming. So I would say particularly over the last 5 or 6 or 7 years, he's developed a lot of expertise around Social Security claiming for his own benefit, for his own seminars, and he's helped our producers with that as well. So we're going to talk about that today. As we get rolling, there might be a couple polls that will pop up. I ask you just to complete those as quickly as possible. Yes or no is the only answer there. So don't be afraid to put a no, and certainly welcome to assist you around any that you put a yes on. And if you have a question, go ahead and type that in, and let's see if we can get it answered for you as quickly as possible as well. So I want to make sure that the group here today was aware of our new producer builders. They're very simple ways, very simple methods and methodologies that we've put together at different levels that will help you or will take care of the cost for different ways. And some of them are cash payouts, some of them are incentives, incentive trip, thing like that, iPad, what have you. But a lot of them, as you can see before you, are kind of built around helping you even increase your production further. So you'll see that there's a radio at the 750 level. I think there's a radio opportunity there. Might even be one at the $1 million level. So Social Security claiming seminars, I think, are available in there as well. So there are a lot of ways you can leverage the business that you do with us in your first 180 days to an extra level of production. So we'd love to help you with that. You might know of something that's not on that list that you'd like to try. Certainly we would consider that for you as well. We've got a lot of good programs too that get you leaned on the most around here. Our marketing reimbursement and our referred producer program. The marketing reimbursement is simple enough. You do business, money goes into your marketing reimbursement account when you spend money to grow your business, and we match that spend dollar for dollar. So it kind of doubles the power of your marketing, if you will. The other program, RPM, if you have a colleague or know someone you think might be a good fit for IAMS, and you decide to refer them, we'll do all the work from there. We'll get them appointed, we'll go through the process, and they get treated exactly like you do in terms of all the incentives and training and benefits that are available to you or available to them. But we do pay a bonus to you based on their business. So it's a way to kind of build a little bit without some of the liabilities and time commitment that goes with agency building. And some of those checks, right now, the RPM checks are the largest checks that we send out. So as you can imagine, it gets to be can be very beneficial for you. And of course, I know that when you refer somebody, you're thinking of helping them as well. And hopefully you're thinking a little bit of helping IAM. So we appreciate those opportunities. If you're not doing e-apps, I would assume most of you probably are familiar with FireLight. FireLight is the kind of the go-to technology for e-apps within the annuity business. And we put a single sign-on a couple, 3 years ago now from FireLight on our website to all of our carriers, or at least all of our carriers that do FireLight applications. So it's an easy way for you to access all of the e-apps right through our portal on our website. If you have a minute and you want to get that set up, you just give us a call, ask your sales director and say, hey, get me registered on your website for e-apps. And when it does, literally, it takes about 3 minutes. We approve it. Once we approve it, then you can go in and, if you're doing business with Equitrust or Athene or Silac or Gillico or whatever company that we have in our stable that uses FireLight apps, you can access that right through our website. So you don't have to go cruising from website to website. One other kind of hidden benefit of that is that if you're at Equitrust website and you write an app with Equitrust, and then let's say 6 months later you would need to write another app on that same client, but you want to write it with Athene. Well, you can't do anything there. Here within our system, because they're all on the same platform, you can cut and paste a lot of that information, save yourself a lot of time. And of course, you want to check it with your client, make sure it's all still accurate, but it makes for a much easier process of redoing an application or doing a second app on the same client across companies. If you haven't done e-apps, what you don't know is the speed at which they are handled at the carrier level. So for instance, most of our carriers will handle an e-application with priority, and they'll do that first thing. And usually it goes from the review to suitability, and suitability review gets done quicker as well, all within that first day. If you're doing paper apps still, you know that that's about a 3 to 4 day process. So you're going to save yourself a lot of time with an e-app. It is not as technology driven as you might think. If your client has an email address, you can do an e-app, and it really makes for a nice professional way. And of course, then you always got the right paperwork as well. So consider, if you haven't, doing e-apps. If you're already doing e-apps, consider calling your sales director and getting set up so that you can do them all from the single sign on our website. Save you a lot of time and trouble. We've got a great advertising team here for you. They can do a lot of stuff. They work with folks just like you all day long, helping them to grow their image and their business in their area. They've got a lot of great ideas to help you. The process or the funneling would be to do that, go through your sales director, let them know what you're thinking, and then we'll put you in touch with the advertising team. We're going to do as much of that work as we can pro bono. A lot of guys use marketing reimbursement for things that actually have a cost to them. What you're going to find is we'll be very, very reasonable, and that is not at all, that's not an area of benefit to IAMS. That's an area of service to you. So we're going to do whatever we can for as cheap as we can to help you to grow your business. And that, in the end, as you know, when you're successful, we're successful, and that's what we're trying to do with that advertising or creative marketing department. One area that we really have had a lot of success with, and growing success, I would say, with a lot of our producers, is using the retirement analyzer software. That's a third party has put that software together. It's many decades literally old in terms of established, but they are always updating and adding new stuff and getting better and getting their training better. And the great thing is right now that we make that available to our producers on an ongoing basis at our expense. We pay your fee for it. Even if you're just joining the firm and you want to have a look at it, give Marcus a call at 800-255-5055. I'll set that email. I'll chat that over to everybody, or his email and the phone number. And if you want to work with the Retirement Analyzer software tool and try it on a client or try it out on yourself just to see how it works, I would highly recommend that. I think you'll like the result that you see with your client when you lay down before them a nice roadmap of where they are on their retirement journey and how they can get to where they want to be, or setting their expectations for likely where they're going to end up. We'd all like to be millionaires at retirement, but it's good to help set the proper expectations for our client, and that software will do it in a very, very credible methodology, and it's not hard to use. We like the value of the output for the effort and time of the input. That's what we like about that software tool, and I think you'll like it as well. So give Marcus a call if you'd like to get your hands on it. Of course, we have an RIA here at IAMS Wealth. They do a great job. They've helped many of our producers make that transition from insurance only over to the securities and investment advice offerings. And they've also helped many folks that maybe had their 65 and just needed more assistance and guidance along the way. They have specialized in that and done a really great job. Beyond that, in fact, I'm going to do this. I'm going to just shoot up a quick poll here. Give me a second. I'm going to put up a poll. So obviously, before I put the poll up, you're able to see kind of the benefits to you. I mean, there's obvious revenue opportunity for you, and a steady revenue, kind of a built-in revenue for your business. It comes through those advisory fees. It really does, when you handle more of your client's business and handle more of their needs, obviously is going to improve your retention with your current clients. Then of course you're going to build relationships when you're dealing with all of their assets and taking care of their secured and guaranteed needs, as well as helping them with advice for needs that would involve other than the secure and guaranteed products. And you can do that with your Series 65. If you need help getting your 65, we've got a great team of folks that can help you with that. If you've gotten your 65 and maybe you're not happy with your current level of support, we can help you with that as well. They follow the kind of the IAM's high service level standard in working with folks, and the support level is very high there. They've got a great team focused on helping you grow your business, and that's really what it's all about over there. If you maybe you've got an RA currently, you're not happy with the fees that you have to pay or the fees that you earn. I get great feedback from our guys on the benefits of being with IAMS in terms of, we take care of the E&O, we take care of their website, we take care of your database, we take care of your compliance needs, and helping you through the sales process. They really do a great job of that. So you get a lot of value there. Their payouts are just a little bit over 1%. And if you look at how they pay as compared to what you maybe have expectation, that does not go through a grid. So that's what you earn. You don't get 60, 70, 80, or 90% of that 1%. You get that whole 1%. So a nice feature, nice benefit that hopefully, if you haven't considered getting your IAR, becoming affiliated with an RA, you could do that. If you already are, maybe give them a few minutes. So if you would just yes or no on that poll, and I see most of you already have, just a couple have not. But if you would give me just a quick no, if that's of no interest, maybe you're happy with your current RIA, maybe that's not a part of the business that you want to get into at this point in your career, certainly understand that. Just drop me a no on that poll. If on the other hand, you have some interest in talking with somebody over there, it would be about a 10-minute conversation initially, unless you have more in-depth questions or things that you need from them. They'll give you a quick email with some of the practices and processes that they use and see if it's a good fit for you. So we're not talking about a big time commitment. Obviously, if you want to have the conversation, by the same token, they're willing to spend the time with you as well if you do. And if not, just put a no. And hey, thank you. I see that everybody, all but one have voted at this point. So I'm going to close that poll up. Thank you, by the way, for your quick answers on that. I appreciate it. And so now we're going to talk about Social Security maximizations. And I've given you a little bit of background on Dave. He has joined us, and he'll certainly be willing to tell you a little bit more about how he got into the business and how he gained the level of knowledge he has on Social Security maximization. But I can tell you that it's been a really nice resource and benefit for many of our producers. The assistance of doing Social Security seminars has been immense. The assistance of helping on the one-offs is, in terms of, what particular Social Security question, been very helpful there 99% of the time, because he deals with it quite a bit. Dave knows that answer right at the top of his head, and he knows exactly where to find the answers that he doesn't know. So really great benefit to you. I'm not going to delay any further. I'm going to get right to the coach, Mr. Dave Pimper.
Hey, thank you very much, Steve, and I appreciate it. Thank you, everybody, for being on the line with us. This is a 30-minute presentation, okay? And what I want to accomplish on this are really threefold. One is so you learn a little bit about Social Security from kind of a high level. Second thing is that I want you to understand that Social Security, which we don't make money from Social Security, it absolutely can be a focal point of your business for production. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that. And then third thing is you've got three different ways through Insurance Agency Marketing Services, IAMS, the FMO. Steve Murray had the beginning presentation. One of the majority owner of or major owner of IAMS. And what happens is in myself being a coach, I've been in the business since 1981, so that's over 40 years in the business. And I do both fixed index to business fixed and with investments. I work it from the investment savings end. Social Security I've known for 11 years now. So about a quarter of my working career, I've really understood Social Security. And it was the reason I got into Social Security claiming was because I was working with the pre-retired and just retired crowd. That demographics was who I was working with because I was working with the larger rollover money, the 401k, 403b, 457 government, deferred comp, SEPs, simples, IRAs, Roth IRAs, thrift savings plans. Those are the plans that I was working with, and I was getting a lot of questions around Social Security. Finally, one day, I just raised my hand and said, "I better learn it." At that time, I was about, I think, 56 years of age. I'm going to be 67 here next month. So I really didn't think about how much production would come in from Social Security until I learned Social Security. I do Social Security seminars. In fact, I just looked today I got one coming up here in about 3 weeks. I was just taking a look at it. A couple of our clients who are insurance agents through IAMS, but I mean, one had like 46 signups, and the other one had like 43 or 4 signups, and they're still yet to have their seminar here in the next week's time period. So we're getting good traction on seminar marketing right now. Okay, so if you got any questions, certainly type them in. I'll be more than happy to help you. We're going to be done at about quarter till. Okay, that's when we're going to be done, and we'll answer any questions, and we'll keep this all within the time constraints. So this comes from Sarah O'Brien from CNBC. She says most retirees get little advisor help on Social Security. How true? The body of this reads, a majority of older Americans get no professional advice about a key part of retirement planning, Social Security. And then get a load of this, even if they work with a financial advisor, the study concluded. That's why I cannot tell you how many times I've gotten accounts because their advisors did not know Social Security. In fact, there was something out, and Steve brought this up, Murray brought this up to my attention, but it's like 70% of all people working with an advisor in getting into retirement, they would consider leaving if they didn't know Social Security claiming. That's how important it is. So I'll tell you right now, we've got 3 ways that we go in and can help you, the agent or the advisor, understanding Social Security claiming. One is just a la carte. You don't want to have any marketing, lowest cost. I want to pay $800. You'll get 4 sessions. I will coach you up or as they say in backwoods Nebraska, I'll learn you up on Social Security claiming. You can use me on that anytime you want to. And those other 2 you can too, but it isn't just when you're coaching. But if you got questions on Social Security, you can certainly email me. You can call me. Yeah. Second way is through seminars, seminar marketing. $2,750. That's the cost of the seminar. You're guaranteed 35 signups. Guaranteed 35 signups. Well, those registrants, I will tell you right now, to have a guarantee in today's day and time post-pandemic on seminars, not going to find many of those. We give it because we're so confident in our marketing of that seminar. You get the seminar, you go in and you get the software for 3 months. That's no cost to you. You get coaching from me on Social Security on 3 sessions, and then we also handle most of the work inside with my team here at Lazarus Coaching. Also, Retirement Boss Radio. That's the third way, and that coaching for you is paid in the $2,750. It's actually paid for by IAMS. They stipend me. They pay me to coach you up, just as they do with Retirement Boss Radio. That's being a radio host for an hour on your local, hopefully highly rated AM station. I have a Rush Limbaugh station here in town. That all in cost. I mean, for an hour, you get the show notes, you get the co-host, you get full production to make it sound. Believe me, it doesn't make it sound. It is professionally put put together from the broadcasting team, and it's recorded, so you can go in and record right from your office or your home, even your car, if it has Wi-Fi. Yeah, normally $3,000 to $4,000 all in per month. One of the reasons that I've had success is because I get in front of so many people. My days are filled up. I mean, today I've got 3 appointments, and I feel like, oh, man, this is kind of a light day for me. And anything more than 4 is really tough because then I've got client calls in between, and I've got research, and I've got So maybe some paperwork, etc. But Social Security is a moneymaker for, it gives you great advice to the individual, the one who's going in, and they are the ones that are benefiting. But by uncovering assets, you can help them with the investment and or annuity side. Again, any questions? Type them in. More than happy to help you. We're going to take a 5 question quiz, and this quiz we can take. We'll get it done in 4 or 5 minutes. But I want to see how much you know actually about Social Security claiming. So play along with me. Everybody, we got to. I mean, for a Friday, we're really loaded up today. The amount of agents that are on the line with us, so that's great on the webinar. So only 1 in 300 seniors could ace this, and I did. Only about 4 out of every 100 advisors could ace this. Pretty wild. So to maximize your monthly Social Security checks, at what age must you claim benefits? To maximize your monthly Social Security checks, at what age must you claim benefits? Write your answer down. There's 5 questions, so this is the first one. What's the answer? Here we go. If you guess full retirement age, you're wrong. It's age 70. And we're talking about a single person. How do you maximize it? You let it grow as long as it can. Age 70. Second question. What's the earliest age you can receive survivor's benefits if you're not disabled? What's the earliest age you can receive survivor's benefits if you're not disabled? Answer. Here we go. It is 60. Gets discounted 28.5%, but you can get a benefit. Third, does your spouse need to receive benefits for you to qualify for spousal benefits? Does your spouse need to receive benefits for you to qualify for spousal benefits? Yay or nay? Yeah, that person has to claim to be able to give off a spousal benefit. Number 4, can divorced spouses receive spousal benefits? That's an interesting question. Can divorced spouses receive a spousal benefit on their ex? Can they? Yay or nay? Here we go. Yep, they can. But they have to meet 4 stipulations. If you can name 2 of the stipulations that have to be met for a divorced spouse to receive a spousal benefit on their ex, not married to any longer, what has to kind of line up? If you get 2 of the 4, we're going to count you in as a correct answer. You write down the 2. You know what they are? Okay, here's what they are. First one, the marriage had to last at least 10 years or longer, continuously. Number 2, unmarried, the spouse claiming for the benefit, not the ex, not but the recipient who's getting the benefit has to be unmarried. Ex-spouse at least 62, divorce was 2 years ago or longer. So all 4 of those have to line up like stars and moons to get the benefit. But for the quiz, if you just got 2 of those right, if you marked yes and got 2 of those right, I'm gonna give it to you. Last question. Are you eligible for survivor's benefits if you're divorced? Question, are you eligible for survivor's benefits if you're divorced? So you've been divorced for 20 years and the guy dies and his benefit was much higher than the divorced woman. They haven't talked in 20. Can he get it? Can she get a benefit? Yay or nay? Yeah, you can. And the same stipulation. I'm going to give them to you because I just went through those. Yeah. So how'd you do on that quiz? I'll tell you right now, if you got all of them right, not many do, and you know what? You understand Social Security claiming. If you got 4 of them right, still, I mean, that's pretty darn good. That's a B plus, and you know a lot about Social Security claiming. But if you got 1 or 2, which I've done this long enough, I know a lot of people that's in the area, or even 3, or if you had to guess and just guess right, you weren't for sure. Yeah, I can coach you up. Dave Pimper. I mean, I've done Social Security coaching I didn't for the first 6 months when I learned it, but after I really got the hang and feel of it, yeah, I started coaching Social Security then. And I'll tell you right now, the more you do it, the better you get. And the more the more people you give information about Social Security claiming, I will assure you, your production will go up. So get a load of this. It's pretty wild. This comes from Jenna Heron a couple years ago, actually in 2019, going on 3 years this July. But I wrote this word for word. Doing this one thing with your Social Security could mean losing 100 grand in retirement. So bullet point one says, how much does claiming Social Security at the wrong time cost you? Good question. Well, here's the answer. Listen to this closely. Retirees will lose an average of $111,000 in income per household over their lifetime. Why? Because they took Social Security benefits at the wrong time. Bullet point three. Overall, only 4% of retirees took Social Security at the financially optimal age. You know what the great thing about this is? When I got into this business 10, 12 years ago, 11 years ago actually, I called my CPA, my lawyer, my trust lawyer, does all my trust work, and then my banker. And I asked them, when someone comes to you, who do you, for Social Security, do you answer that yourself? All of them said we know very little about it. And they've been around for years, all of them in their 60s, now in their 70s. I said, well, who do you refer that out to? Meaning, what other guy like myself do you refer that to? And every one of them said the Social Security Administration. So if someone needs advice on what to do with their account, that's who you refer to. Yes, we do. You know the bizarre thing on that? The the fly in the ointment. Social Security will not give advice. They'll just give your highest benefit that you're entitled to right now. Now, how incredible is that? Who gives advice? Dave Pimper. You learn Social Security. Who gives advice? You give advice. That's what we do. And there's lots of reasons why Social Security doesn't. I mean, they can't ask about their assets. They can't ask about income. They can't ask about what their retirement goals are. They can't ask about how long do you think they'll live. They can't ask, you know, how's the longevity in your family? They can't ask what kind of drugs are you on. They can't ask. They can't ask. They can't ask. They can't ask. They can just give your highest bid for right now. They can't ask what your expenses are. They can't ask, what your debt is. All of those things make a difference whether you're going to take Social Security or not. Who does that? An advisor, a financial advisor, an insurance agent, someone who really can dig down. The Social Security Administration is not going to take that liability. When's the last time that you saw a Social Security educational seminar given by the United States government, i.e., Social Security claiming? Never. Never. They don't do that. It's wide open for us to do that. And if you're not in the Social Security, if you're not in that wheelhouse, you really don't understand Social Security claiming. What a great kind of chance is this to get on board and to coach with someone, i.e., me. I'm beating my chest a touch, but I probably coach more people on Social Security claiming than anybody in the industry right now. Coaching them up and coaching them in the way for production. It's just like my broker dealer. My broker dealer, they had a big name. I mean, she's well known in the industry for Social Security, and it was at our annual conference, and hundreds of people were there, and she was one of the keynote speakers, and she did a good job. But it is strictly academic of learning Social Security. So this year they said, hey, we'd like you to speak. We'd like you to go on in and do breakout groups and speak to not just once, but to multiple times, not just Social Security claiming. That's great to learn that, but how you can implement it in your business to increase your production. That's so important. And right now, most advisors, most insurance agents, they don't understand how Social Security can make them money. Well, I want to tell you, I will show you how, because I do it day in and day out, almost every single day. Social Security's been around for a long time, since 1935. When it started, you could only take it 65, and unbelievably, the average age of longevity was 62. Don't you like those actuarial odds if you're the government? But then they lowered it. You could take it early at a discount in the 60s, and then a little bit later you could wait longer, go up to 70, and have it increased. And I'll tell you right now, Social Security is one of the worst water cooler talks there is. Hey, Dave, I took it 62 and you should too. Hey, Dave, I took it 70 and you should too. You know what? There isn't one size fits all. It's like a snowflake. Everybody is unique. And I'll tell you, that's like saying, hey, Dave, I like the color violet, and that should be your favorite color too. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. Everything is individual. I know a lot about Social Security claiming, and when my wife turned 62, she had quite a small benefit, and she works for me, but I don't pay her. But what a deal is that? Though she has full access to my checking accounts and credit cards, so I guess she's pleased with that. But her half or her all of her Social Security was never going to be more than half of mine. It wasn't. It wasn't going to grow up and be more than that. So why should I pay into Social Security? I mean, there was just no reason. Well, we looked at her waiting to claim her small benefit, and I'm waiting to 70 for mine. But I've worked it all out, and we took it at age 62. You know why? She was going to have to go in. The break even point was between 84 and 85 years of age for her. Well, she might live that long. I mean, I hope she does, and she probably will. But she can use that money. Do we need that money coming in right now? Not a bit. Nope, nope. She gives part of it to charity, part of it, we've got a kind of a big bill for Medicare that comes out of that. But you know what? We don't have grandkids, so we can't spend on that. We certainly don't want to spend it on our kids. I'm joking. Of course we would. But yeah, but you know what? She took it 62. I'm waiting to 7. It worked. The break even 40, 84, 85. You know what? I mean, and so, and I told her, I said, hey, if we take it, we could certainly just go and invest that money. And then the break even might be 87, 88, 89, might not even be 90 of how well those investments do. She says, no, that's my money. I've worked for it. Yeah. So that's what you're doing to people. You're helping them. Cost of living started in 75. Do you know what the cost of living is this year? Well, for COLA, the cost of living allowance, yeah, 5.9%. That's how much everybody's amount went up. That 5.9%, I'll tell you right now, highest it's been since 1983 in 39 years. First taxation started in 83, a little higher, up to 85% of the benefit can be taxed according to what your income is. And the last major change to Social Security was when they phased out file and suspend. It's a 215 Act, but they started in 216 in 6 months. And they're phasing out restricted application over 8 years. That's where you get a spousal benefit. One person's taken, the other person's waiting 70. You have to be born before January 2nd of 1954. So about 68 years and 3 months. You have to be at least that old to be able to participate in restricted applications. So it's certainly getting less and less and less. When those phased out, there were a ton of people in the security business or in the Social Security business that were giving seminars. That were friends of mine. A lot of them just said, "Well, the sizzle's gone. It's not going to be. It's not going to be nearly as good." I will tell you right now. Well, this last Social Security workshop I had 14 appointments. I got 2 pieces of business. It was about $850,000 that came in from that. 850,000. I did not get this as a client because they already had an advisor. I had some people come in from that seminar that had 4.2 million in investments, 401ks. They had a million in non-retirement. Yeah, and I didn't work with them, but I mean, I'm telling you, I mean, I'm taking a swing. I'm swinging a lot. And you know what? If you don't swing, you don't hit the ball. And getting in front of people is the name of the game. And Social Security is a great way to do that. If you got any questions, type them in. But how important is Social Security? It's vary. Nearly 60% of all retirees count it their major source of income. Their major source of income. More than personal savings, more than pensions. Yeah, more than 401ks. And I said this before, but really, Social Security 101, there's 3 dates or ages that are important. There's that date, somewhere between 66 and 67, that's full retirement. You get your full benefit then, full. Not your biggest. When is your biggest? That was on the quiz, age 70. But you get your full benefit then. If you take early as 62, it's discounted. You can wait as late as 70, and it increases. It's a pretty big deal. Pretty big deal. Can Social Security have a huge value? Darn right it can. If you claim it at your right time. Not at the right time, or not at a right time, but your right time. Yeah. $2.8 trillion in the trust fund has not gone backwards since 1983. It's a long time ago. 39 years. That's actually was taxation started back in after that big taking from the trust fund. But we think this year will start going down, and we think that it will run out of money. That trust fund will run out of money come 11, 12, 13 years, probably around 2033 to 2035. Well, when the trust fund goes bankrupt, and it will, I mean, actuarially, because so many baby boomers are starting to take, and we think that it will probably run a deficit. It hasn't come out with the news yet from 21, but 2021 it probably ran a deficit. Why? Pandemic has a lot to work with it. A lot of people didn't go back to work when they were laid off. They didn't go back to work when they furloughed. Where do they get their money from? From Social Security. Or they went full time, just part time, and they could take their Social Security, and they didn't want to go back to work. It was COVID. I mean, a lot of things changed. So we'll probably run. We don't know yet. We'll know in the next couple of months. But we'll probably run a deficit in 2021. But in 2034, give or take a year, this will be broke. We'll have $0 in the trust fund. So let's say it does go broke. Let's say you get a $2,000 benefit coming in, all of a sudden no money in the trust fund, bankrupt. And it is. Do you get any money coming in? I talked to a lady yesterday, agent that I'm going through Social Security with, and she said, "Well, Social Security is guaranteed, isn't it?" No, not at all. It's in a trust fund. It's not. There's no guarantee. Well, she said, "I suppose it would go down to nothing." I said, "Well, what funds Social Security?" Yeah, payroll taxes. 6.2% by the employee, 6.2% by the employer. That's what funds Social Security. Also, some taxation and interest on 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 the bonds they buy. But what happens is that because it's a pay-as-you-go system, yeah, about 75% to 80% of your money would still be available. So if you have $1,000 and 75% is by the 6.2% payroll taxes, yeah. I mean, you're not going to get 100%, but you instead of 1,000, probably get $750. Will that happen? Absolutely not. And I tell you what, when I coach people, I like them to go in once a day, and just Google Social Security and bring up a recent article. So I told her to do that. And here's one that I just happened to Google up. What do you know about Social Security in 2022? It says Democrats hope to bring a bill that'll seek to protect the future Social Security benefit to the House floor by springtime. And then it says there are several significant changes affecting Social Security in 2022, some of which include a change to the full retirement age of increased benefits. And then it goes on in and talks about how that the full retirement age now the highest is 67, and they're looking at raising that full retirement age. Yeah. Well, you know what? The full retirement age back 85 years ago was 65, and now it's 67. 2 years. You know how much life expectancy's gone up in that 85 years? 18 years. 18 years. From 62 to nearly 80. I was letting you know. But if you go in and just Google up an article once a day, you'll know a lot more about Social Security. It's a great way to, and you may not understand everything in there, but the overall part of it. Okay, so next slide. I kind of went too many there. Yeah, they could do different things to shore it up. I mean, they could go in, if you look at the first one, increase the full retirement age. That's what they're actually thinking about doing. I think there'll be some increase in taxation also. They could increase the maximum age to 70. Something to go in and to bring more money in to firm up the system. It's a fact. It's a pay-as-you-go system. It is funded by payroll taxes mostly. Does the USA borrow against that money? They do. They sell those bonds out. They put IOUs into the Social Security Trust Fund. There's nothing hard that backs that. But what backs currency? Nothing hard. Uh, the full faith and credit of the government. Certainly not a Ponzi scheme. So how do you figure out your benefit? Oh, you know what? 40 quarters of coverage is $1,510. If you make $1,510, you get a quarter of coverage. That quarter of coverage is a little over $6,000 a year. $6,040. You make $6,040. You just earned yourself 4 quarterly credits of coverage for Social Security. You need 10 years of that. You need 40 quarters. Can't get any more than 4 quarters a year. Then how high your earnings are in the year, the more you make, the more you'll get up to a certain amount. This year it's capped at 147,000. It is increased with COLA, if there is a COLA, which there has been every year since '75, except for 3 years there hasn't: 2010, 2011, and 2016. What age you start your benefit? The earlier you start it, the less your benefit is. The later you can wait up to 70, the higher it is. Take your 35 highest inflation adjusted years. Not like a pension, not your last 3 or 5, but your last 35 years. If you don't have 35 years of work in, you get zeros. They're not good. Maybe you can fill those up if you work longer. COLA was 5.9% this year. Remember full retirement age from 1943 to 1954? Yeah, full retirement age is 66. Stair steps up 2 months. I was born in 55. 66 years and 2 months. 1960 or later is 67. If you take early, it's going to be, if you take it 62, it's going to be discounted somewhere between 25 and 30%. That's a pretty big discount, and that's for the rest of your life. If you wait longer, it's going to grow 8% a year. Think about this right here. 8% a year, mine grew because I turned 66 last year, full retirement, 66 too. It grew 8%, and then 5.9, which is basically 6%, so 14%. And I've got a pretty big benefit, say it's $3,000. My benefit grew it was actually over $420 this year just because of the 8% and another 6% of cost of living. $420 is just like earning a mini pension. You might have to work 7-8 years to get $420 the rest of your life. Remember that it has a survivor benefit. It has a spousal benefit also in it. Okay, so let's talk about this is important. Talk about Social Security spousal benefit. Dave's PIA primary insurance amount is $2,400. Amy's PIA primary insurance amount at full retirement age is $1,000. Dave takes his. Amy takes hers. Dave gets $2,400. Amy has an option: all of hers, which is $1,000, or half of Dave's, which is $1,200. Well, what's she gonna take? $1,200, and it's done automatically by the government. They give you the highest of the two. Divorced spouses. I mean, I'm telling you, they leave this all day long on the table. Remember that divorced spouse? Remember the 4 stipulations? Had to be married 10 years or longer. Remember that? Continuously? Yep. You're currently unmarried. Your ex is at least 62. Divorce was 2 years or longer. You can use your spouse as if you're still married to them. Why is that important? Spouses have many more options. I mean, they have like 560 different options versus not nearly as many from a single person, and it could help you. Not always, but it could. My wife always says, no one's going to get out of here alive. Much truth is that? There's always going to be a survivor benefit with Social Security. So let's just hypothetically say Dave's benefit's $2,000. Amy's benefit, his wife, is $1,200. They're over full retirement age, so no discounting. Who normally dies first, the guy or the gal? Unfortunately, the guy dies 75% of the time. He dies first. So Dave dies. Amy can keep her $1,200. She could jump up and drop her $1,200 and take Dave's $2,000. She can't take them both. Well, what's she gonna do? She's gonna drop hers and jump up to Dave. She saves $800 doing that, but it's not done automatically. She has to request it. If you don't ask, you're not gonna get. It's biblical. If you don't ask, you're not gonna receive. And there's also things you can do at age 60 by taking one benefiting and the other, let the other one grow. You could do it vice versa between widow's benefit, survivor benefit, and your own benefit, which is pretty cool. So there still is file and suspend with survivor's benefits. Coordinating survivor benefits. This isn't around very much. I'll go. It's complicated. I go through it though still when we coach together. But you have to be born before January 2nd of 1954, the recipient of the benefit, not the spouse. Here's how it works. Let's say Dave's benefits 2,400, full retirement age. Amy's is 1,000. Amy takes hers, and she does have to in this scenario. Once she takes hers, she goes in, and Dave says, "Hey, I want to take mine too, but at 70, not at 66." So instead of just letting it grow and gaining the 8%, which is great, like what I'm doing right now, he can restrict his application to Amy's spousal benefits. So he lets his grow. He grows the 8%, on the 2,400. Amy's taking her 1,000, but now Dave can also get half of Amy's. That $500 is free money. Less than 1% of people that it can help take it because they're uninformed. They don't know what's available. That's 500 times 12 is 6,000 a year. For every year, it's $6,000. 2 years is 12,000. That's a pretty darn big deal. Pretty rare, but when it fits, it's great. Social Security cannot give advice. Look at this right here. Number D, provide enough information so that claimants can make informed choices, but do not give advice. Wild. I heard that. I'm going to read those. It's that important. Social Security is not a standalone income stream. Social Security is the most flexible of all income streams. Claiming at your right time, not the right time, can be paramount. And don't forget, when you're looking at break even, the survivor benefit. Yeah, here's the I go in, and this is what I do when I'm fact finding with clients. I go through this 5 pillars of income: wages, pensions, income producing assets, RMDs, traditionals, and social security. So what happens? The one that makes money here is number 3. I find out every 401k, 403b, thrift savings plan, savings, CDs, cash value on life insurance policies, real estate, anything of a retirement asset I'm looking at that could pull an income. Maybe there's something I can work with there. Lot to consider, lot of different options before you actually go in and take your benefit. Remember, I said there's 3 things you can do, and we'll talk a little bit about it probably in the questions. But seminar marketing, we coach you up, no charge on Social Security. Retirement Boss Radio, we coach you up, no charge on Social Security. Or you can pay $800, and I'm going to give you 4 coaching sessions. You can use me when you want to for any kind of questions. Okay. So as we're getting kind of close to the end here, see if I can here. There's an old saying. It says, "Procrastination is my sin. It brings me constant sorrow. I really shouldn't practice it. Perhaps I'll stop. Tomorrow never comes." And the reason I bring this up, if you heard something today that you say, I finally need to learn Social Security. I need to get my arms around it. I need to go in and think about marketing and get in front of more appointments. Every single year in the last 10 years, my income has gone up. My commissions have gone up. Even in 2020 in the pandemic. Steve, are you there? We'll go in.
I am, Dave. I will
Okay,
launch the poll, and then let's get some questions. We do have a hard stop at about 10:55 here
good,
today, so
good.
launch that poll out. You folks,
And
go
can you
ahead.
hear me, Steve?
I hear you great.
Okay, I want to make sure. Okay, good. Yeah. So here's the poll. If you mark yes, and we've got about 5 minutes here. If you mark yes, what'll happen is that Brady Pelzer will call you today to say, "Hey, when's a good time for you?" He has my calendar. We'll find a good time to get on the calendar. And what happens? That's about a 15-20 minute conversation. Kind of what are you doing? Do you know much about Social Security? Have you used it to market your business? What do you do right now to market and get in front of appointments? We'll just talk and see if this could be something that could help your production down the road.
Let's answer a few questions here really quick, Dave. So Gene had some confusion about how much the Social Security training is with when you do it in conjunction with seminars. I think you should go over how that works again, just so that everybody's clear.
Yeah. The seminars the cost is $2,750. What does that include? That includes the PowerPoint, the 44 slide PowerPoint. That includes software for Social Security for 3 months at no charge. That includes coaching from me to you coaching up on Social Security claiming. There's 3 sessions, okay? And what happens is that's all inclusive of the $2,750 because IAMS pays me to coach you up. That's how important it is to IAMS that you know Social Security. We know people who really understand Social Security and are marketing it are some of the better producers, within the IAMS organization. So that, and it's the same thing with radio. It, depends on your area, but the radio time, but normally 3,000 to 4,000, all inclusive, all in for production and everything else, and getting the radio station. It's recorded, but all the calls come into an inbound high touch call center. Yeah, and we coach you up there also. There's no cost to that. We coach you up on Social Security because about a third of the calls that come in are Social Security related. Social Security, boy, if you don't know it, it's a hot subject. So hopefully that helps a little bit, Steve, to get some insight to that.
Yeah, I think it does. So then the obvious next question is when you do your next Social Security seminar, is it always 2750? So I guess the best way to look at that, Gene, is that the coaching for when you're doing Social Security seminars or when you're doing radio, the coaching, we take care of that cost. So you don't have any cost for that. And then going forward, if you want to do your third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh seminars, which you should, then that cost will always be $2,750 for 35 registrants over 2 nights, usually a Tuesday, Thursday. Those are no meals on those seminars. Those are done, and as Dave mentioned earlier, like libraries or community colleges, things like that, with no meals. So hopefully that helps clarify that. Yes, we did record this event. It'll be available after. You'll get an email shortly after the event if you want to listen to it again. And of course, we hang these out on our website. That's iamsinc.com, iamsinc.com. We have a YouTube channel there. All of these webinars that we record are out there for you to view. You'll find some other ones out there that you might find of interest to you as well. Dave, you better go over a little bit when you do the one-on-one coaching, and there is no seminar and there is no radio attached with that, then they pay for that coaching. Can you go over that process and what that cost is?
Yeah, we add one more on that one more session because you're paying this out of pocket, not IAMS, and it's $800. And I go through the history of Social Security, really how Social Security works, and then I go through if you really understand the individual benefit, and then the divorce benefit, survivor, and restricted. If you understand those benefits inside and out, you'll answer about 80-85% of all the questions. And I will say this: as we spend a lot of time role playing, and there's about 20 different attachments that we give you. It's an in-depth, it's an in-depth coaching program, and you can use me anytime that you got questions about Social Security or just in financials in general. I'm kind of like one of the board members on your independent financial team. So our goal is to get you. Is there a little work involved in it? Yeah, there's a book you buy for $20, and it's a great book. It's like the Bible. It's like the Bible of Social Security. I read that, and you know this, Steve. I read that every January, cover to cover. I've read that like 11 times, cover to cover. It's that good, and I have my people I'm coaching too. So there's probably a couple 3 hours a week of reading time for the first 4 weeks. So you got to put in 10, 15 hours, and if you're going to get good at anything, you've got to put a little time into it. So that's the way it is here too. But you'll know a lot more about Social Security than when you started. I'll assure you. I'll guarantee that to you.
I think it's notable too, Dave, that you do make yourself then available after that for questions, because there's always going to be the question. Even I'm guessing from time to time you come across a question that you are unsure of the answer, and David would be available to help with those as well. He really is a producer's producer. He likes working with you and helping you and hearing about your successes. I will say that most of you have voted. There are a couple of you that have not yet voted, which is fine. Don't worry about putting a no on there. If you're good with your Social Security knowledge or not interested in seminars or radio or getting that, getting in front of more consumers that way, go ahead and put a no on that. Dave, you would say that Social Security claiming, is that still probably from your radio show, is that the number one area of interest that you get, number one area of people calling in?
No doubt. no doubt. I mean, there's some other real important areas: Roth conversions, in-service non-hardship withdrawals, just financial planning in general, retirement planning. But but Social Security, I'm telling you what, people just don't know. I mean, people they want to maximize. They need to find out when they need to take, and it's a great help to people. Do I work with everybody? No. But when you're uncovering assets through that 5 pillars of income, it's an easy way to go into to fact find, for money, and it's worked out extremely well.
One more question here. This is from Thornton. Thornton has done Social Security seminars in the past. He said he had trouble converting to business. I know that is an area that you could speak on for a minute. Dave, can you kind of tell people your experience you had in converting to business from Social Security seminars and how you overcame that?
Well, you know that answer, Steve.
I do.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, I did. Yeah. So when I started, I talked to Steve. I mean, I've been in the business for 30 years, and I was coaching people on sales process. I couldn't figure out that transition. And what happens is that it's really finding that money. Finding the money is key, and then transitioning, go to a very low hurdle to a little higher hurdle, getting some commitment on that money early before I'm ever going to go to a second appointment. But we've got that down pat, and we do brush on some of that just through the conventional coaching. But if you want to go in and get into the weeds on that, then I have another. Don't want to pile on, but from a coaching standpoint, because I certainly am in business with coaching too. But a 3 session of, and I work it around the fixed index product, but it works, Steve. It works just the exact same if whether you're in wealth management, whether it could be if you want to get life insurance or long-term care. You're going on in there and asking those same kind of questions, and I do it through 3 appointments. But I'm a process guy, but I did have problems in the beginning transitioning, and now it's just part of what I do every single day when I'm talking to a client or a prospect. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Good. Well, we've used all of our time. There's still a number of folks that haven't voted, so I would encourage you to take a minute right now and vote while we're closing up today here. A couple things I want to mention is thank you for joining us today. A couple answers to some questions. You can find information. I gave Dave's radio website, I think, at the outset. It's www.retirementbossradio.com. So if you want to hear how those calls to action go regarding Social Security, you can listen to one of those podcasts that's hung on that website. It's not protected, so you can just go in and listen to it at your leisure, and you'll see how that works. Also, thank you for joining us here today. I know on a Friday afternoon there's might be a couple other things that you could do, and I appreciate you taking some time out of your schedule to join us here today. Appreciate it very much. Whatever we can do to help you, we're at 800-255-5055. Call in and ask for Steve Murray. Call in and ask for one of the sales directors. Everyone that hit yes on the poll will get a call shortly here from Brady Pelzer. We'll try and get a time set up with you and Dave to speak, and you will be speaking with Dave. He's got a great coaching team there, but he does all of the one-on-one coaching, so that's who that call will be with. Dave, is there anything that you want to say as we close up?
No, I just, when you're a producer, your time is money. Here it is Friday afternoon, Steve. You saw the number of people that are really interested about Social Security claiming. I hope I can talk to a lot of you, and I'm looking forward to it here in the couple of weeks to come.
Perfect. Have a good day, everybody, and have a great weekend.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.